The other studio that shut down at the time, aside from RKO, was Republic Pictures. Republic Pictures.
Yes.
Can you describe how the I guess the downfall of that studio was different from maybe RKO in a sense?
Well, Republic sold off to television, and it is still in business, not as Republic, but the facilities are still there as a very successful television operation. So it ended as a feature film company, much to the chagrin of its founding president. But it became a successful and ongoing television. Republic was, is the term B film and Poverty Row? Do you know those terms?
Hmm.
Poverty Row Studios were not the major studios. They were fly by night independent studios, and they
Right.
made B, C, D films that were released in neighborhood theaters for a quick playoff. And Republic, that kind of movie making was very threatened by television. You could see a low budget Western, the equivalent of a low budget Western on TV. So why go to the movies to pay for it? You could see the equivalent of Republic's comedies, lowbrow comedies, rustic comedies on TV. So television was a mortal threat to a low flying studio like Republic. It couldn't survive because what it was doing was in effect television program. So it joined the enemy and became a television facility, and it still is.
Hmm.
I don't think people remember the name Republic Pictures. Do you?
Um,
That
I
new to
knew
you?
when I looked into it, like I knew some of the films that they had done, but like I hadn't really like remembered the name of the studio.
No,
It hadn't
no.
cemented itself in my head.
Pretty
Uh,
much lost the history. People know MGM still,
yeah,
of course.
of course.
Yeah, but not
Even RKO.
even RKO, right? Even RKO.
I actually knew a lot from RKO. As you went down the list of stuff that they had produced, I was like, oh, I know this one, I know this one, I know this one, and it's, um, it actually brings me probably to my next question, which is, when you look at some of these films, some of them are still very well known, right? You have like Singing in the Rain in this period. You have Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. You have a lot of these films. Why do you think some of these films have lasted as long as they have, and why do you think others have just totally disappeared?
That's a big question. The simple answer is that the really good films stay around. And you mentioned Singing in the Rain. I've showed it to students, 20-year-olds, 19-year-olds. They enjoy it still. A movie from all those years ago still provides entertainment. It's said to be the best movie musical ever made. That's its reputation. So I think the quality films hold on, but it's also something else. When I ask students about old time stars, some of the names are disappearing into history, and there's no recognition from the kids. People remember Marilyn Monroe, James Dean, that there's something timeless about their iconography or about their legends. People remember them. Why do they last and other stars don't? I once asked a class, have you heard the name Marlene Dietrich? Do you know that name?
I mean, from your book, yes, but outside of that, no.
Not outside. Okay, she was a huge star. There was not a flicker of recognition in a class full of 19, 20, 21-year-olds.
Yeah.
Betty Davis, I think, is still remembered. Joan Crawford is still remembered.
Fred
Katharine
Astaire.
Hepburn, Ben Tracy, Fred Astaire. There are some names. Do some performers or films begin to seem dated or out of touch? I think so as tastes change. And it's hard to predict. We do not know now what films that we're interested in at the moment will pass the test of time.
Hmm.
Come back in 50 years. What films from 2023, 2024 will be remembered 50 years from now? And which ones won't? We can't answer it.
Yeah, of
But
course not.
the test of time is the most rigorous test of all. But I trust it to some extent. The films that have passed the test of time in almost every case are great films.
Yeah.
They say something, or they create an atmosphere or a mood that continues to speak to a contemporary audience. But we have no idea of what will hold up and what won't.
When you
Prediction, by the way, is that Oppenheimer will not hold up.
I see you are definitely not a fan of his.
No,
Um
I'm not.